Hello, hello. The title of this says Geometric Series Day 2 Practice, but really it's just a mixed review. So if you want to try this whole thing by yourself, if you get stuck on anything, you want to fast forward through this at any point just to see a certain problem done, by all means do so. There will also be an answer key posted, but this is all stuff that we have learned. It is a mixed review. Okay, so this first one right here, I need to find the sum. Notice the directions evaluate, but I know that the sigma means sum. So I need to find the sum of this series. I know that it's the numbers 1 through 250 that have to be plugged in. So there's no way on earth I'm doing this by hand. It must be following there must be a formula for it, right? And if you look, this is arithmetic. So we can use a formula. So the sum formula for arithmetic is the sum of however many terms there are is equal to n divided by 2, the number of terms divided by 2 times, and then the first term that you're plugging in plus the last term that you're plugging in, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this. That's so far. Okay, so first off, the number of terms is 250. Now I need the first term, which is by plugging in 1, the last term, which is in plugging in 250. So I'm going to erase this and this. All right, a sub 1 is equal to, maybe I'll do it in a different color. A sub 1 is equal to negative 3 times 1 plus 5, which is 2. And then a sub 250 is equal to negative 3 times 250 plus 5. So that is negative 750 plus 5, which is negative 745. So I have 2 here and negative 745 here. I already my calculator, which I recently put away. Sorry about the... what a wonderful start to my there we go. Okay, clear. All right, so we have 250 divided by 2, which is 125, parentheses, 2 plus a negative, which is minus 745, close parentheses, hit enter. And we have the sum of this series is equal to negative 92,875. Now, at first, some people, like without thinking, will say, oh, did I make a mistake? Like a negative number it sums to? Yeah. The constant the constant difference was negative 3. So we keep adding a negative 3 to that. It's going to become a negative number, and then so on and so forth. Okay. All right. So let's look at the next one. Voila. Right? So first off, looking at what numbers we have to plug in, it's 2 through 4 if we were to do it by hand, which is not a big deal. So honestly, even if this was arithmetic or geometric, I'd plug in 2, 3, and 4. But it's not. It's neither of those things. It is a quadratic, which does not have a formula to go along with it. So I'm going to plug in 2, plug in 3, and plug in 4. Do you need to write that down? No, I do it so I don't get lost. Okay? All right, plugging in 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. Plugging 3, 9 plus 1 is 10. 16 plus 1 is 17. So that's 27 plus 5 is 32. Voila, mixed practice. Okay, let's look at the next one here. It says, find the 400th term of this sequence. So my answer is going to be a sub 400. So I need to plug 400 into the rule. Unfortunately, there is no rule, right? So I need to know what the rule is. All right, so sorry, I was looking for an answer key to compare this as I go along, and I can't find it, so I give up. All right, so I can see that this is plus 6. Plus 6, yep. So it's arithmetic. So I'm going to write an arithmetic rule. First term is negative 7 plus n minus 1 times d, which is 6. Make sure that looks like a negative 7, So I have negative 7 plus 6n minus 6. So my rule is a sub n equals 6n minus 13, right? So now I can find the 400th term, okay? So the 400th term is 6 times 400 minus 13. So we have 2400 minus 13. It could be mental math, but I don't want to make a mistake since I don't have a key to compare it to. Well, I do, I just don't know where it is. 2387. Beautiful. All right, here's the next one. Find the sum of the first 30 terms. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to find the sum of the first 30 terms. I know I'm going to use a formula because I'm not plugging in 1 through 30. All right, so I need to write a rule. I need to know what's happening here so that I can use the formula, right? All right, so looking at this is times 3. So r is 3. So let's write a rule. A sub n is equal to my first term, which is 2, times 3 to the n minus 1 power. So there's my rule. If I want to write it in sigma notation for practice, I can. I can say there's my rule. 2 times 3 to the n minus 1. My first term I get by plugging in 1, and then I'm going to plug in 30 for my last term. So I didn't need to do that at all, but I did it. Big deal. Okay, so to find the sum of the first 30 terms of a geometric sequence, I take the first term, which is 2, times 1 minus my ratio, which is 3, to the 30th power, to the nth power, over 1 minus 3. All right, 1 minus 3 is negative 2, and then I'm going to put the rest in my calculator. So 1 minus 3 to the 30th power, enter. Look at that scary, negative, very small number. Please keep in mind that E14 means move the decimal 14 places to the right. If it was negative, it's to the left. So when I say very small number, very big negative number, like what do I don't even know how to say that. But then I go divided by negative 2, enter. And now it's a very big number, positive number. And then I'm going to multiply this by 2, so times 2, and it gets even bigger. So it's this huge, 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 huge number, okay? Make sure you don't think that it is 2.059, right? Instead, I'm going to say the sum of the first 30 numbers is 2.059 times 10 to the 14th power, right? You should know scientific notation from math classes that you took in middle school or from science classes. Okay. All right, we have 4 more evaluating each, and they're all in sigma notation. Lovely. So first what we're going to do is we're going to look at the rule, and we're going to say, is that arithmetic or geometric? And then if we can use a formula, use a formula. If we can't, then we'll plug in those values. All right, looking at this is geometric. And it is finite. It ends. It's 1 through 20. I definitely don't want to do this by hand, so I'm going to use my formula. 1 through 20 is 20 terms, all right? Then I need the first term. This is in the form a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1, and this is the first term, so I can just look and say a sub 1 is 4 times 1 minus, make sure you put that negative 2 in parentheses, 20th power over 1 minus 2. 1 minus 2 is negative 1, so I'm going to end up dividing by that. So please don't do 1 plus 2 to the 20th and say minus a negative is a positive. Okay, that is not going to work. All right, we're doing 1 minus negative 2 to the 20th power, right? If you think about this, is this a positive answer or a negative answer? It's negative. If you turn it into plus, you're making it positive, which is not true. Hit enter. Divide by negative 1, hit enter, and then times it by 4. Big number. So the sum of these 20 terms is 4,194,300. Glorious. Love it. All right, let's move on to the next one. So this is geometric again. A sub 1 equals 1 times r, or sorry, n times r to the n minus 1 power. N equals 1, which is great. Oop, it's infinite. All right, so this is geometric infinite series. So now we want to look to see if it converges or diverges. If you look, it's 1/4, right? 1/4, putting absolute value because it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, is less than 1, so it is going to converge. If it converges, we are using the formula. So we're going to say sum of the infinite series is equal to, and then it's a sub 1, which is 10. And I know that it's 10 because this is a 1 and this is n minus 1. It's in that form, right? And then 1 minus r, which is a fourth. 1 minus a fourth is 3/4. So I get 10 divided by 3/4, which is 40/3. So the sum of the infinite series is 40/3. I multiplied by the reciprocal in my head, which was not a very difficult thing to do. Okay. Next one right here, I look at it, it's arithmetic, right? So I am going to use my arithmetic sum formula. Sum of those first 85 terms is equal to number of terms, which is 85 divided by 2, and then it's a sub 1 and a sub 85 that I'll need. All right, a sub 1 is 3 times 1 plus 8, which is 11. And then a sub 85 is 3 times 85 plus 8. 3 times 85 plus 8, which is 263. 11 plus 263. So notice if you know these formulas, like this is, I go through these very quickly. And it's because like I know my formulas. I know what to do. I know what to use. Equals. And then my child is going to be home in 5 seconds. I can hear the garage door opening. So you might hear screaming, mommy, mommy, in a moment. Equals 11,645. All right, one more. Let's see if I can finish before she gets here. I can. All right, so this is neither geometric nor arithmetic. So I'm going to just plug in the values. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Plugging in 1, 1 squared is 1, plus 3 is 4. Plugging in 2, 2 squared is 4, 4 plus 3 is 7. 9 plus 3 is 12. 16 plus 3 is 19. All right, 19 plus 12 is 31. 31 plus 7 is 38. Plus 4 is 42. Look at that. I beat them getting inside. All right, that was just in-class practice. You can go ahead and work on